Hello, it's so good to have you here. Welcome. Here, we talk about how to take care of your health to enjoy life to the fullest.
To you for decades. They told you getting weaker was just part of aging, that your body would slow down, shrink, and break down no matter what you did. But here's the truth. It's not age that steals your strength, it's habit. And the good news? Habits can be changed. Fast. What if I told you that building real strength after 50 is less to do with lifting heavy weights and more to do with rewiring your daily life? No gym required. That you could reverse muscle loss naturally, even if you've been sedentary for years? That it's not only possible, but far simpler than the fitness industry wants you to believe? This isn't about six-packs or extreme routines. It's about reclaiming control, having energy again, walking upstairs without fear, playing with your grandkids, and waking up with purpose. If you're tired of feeling like your body is slipping through your fingers, this message is for you. Because strength isn't just physical, it's a lifestyle. And it starts today, right where you are. Most people think muscle loss is just a part of getting older, like gray hair or needing glasses. But truth is, our modern lifestyle is the real culprit. Sitting all day, eating ultra-processed foods, constantly stressing, that's the perfect recipe for losing muscle faster than nature intended. It's not aging alone, it's what we do or don't do every single day. And here's the kicker. By simply adjusting a few of those daily choices, you can start to reverse muscle loss naturally, even if you're already over 50. Imagine this. Two 65-year-olds. One spends hours watching TV, snacks on chips, and rarely stretches. The other takes 20-minute walks daily, does some strength training for seniors using resistance bands, and eats a protein-rich breakfast with eggs and leafy greens. Guess who's living the active aging lifestyle? It's not about being extreme. It's about consistent, doable shifts. For example, parking farther from the store or doing 10 squats while brushing your teeth can be a quiet revolution in disguise. Stress, sleep, sugar, all of them chip away at muscle when left unchecked. The body was never designed for 10 hours of screen time and frozen dinners. But here's the beauty of it. Every tiny improvement adds up. Drinking water when you wake up, adding more color to your plate, taking deep breaths before bed, these are daily habits for longevity. They're not flashy, but they work. And once you understand this, the conversation naturally shifts to something even more powerful, the link between muscle and how long, and how well we live. When people think of strength, they often picture bulky muscles or heavy weights at the gym. But real strength, the kind that adds years to your life, looks a lot more like being able to carry your groceries, get up from the floor without help, or walk upstairs without losing your breath. Research has shown time and again that muscle mass and grip strength are directly tied to how long we live and how well we move through life. This is where functional fitness over 60 becomes not just relevant, but essential. Muscles aren't just about motion. They're our body's armor. They protect our bones, support our joints, and even play a role in blood sugar control and inflammation. The stronger you are, the more resilient you become. That means fewer falls, fewer hospital visits, and more independence. Think about that. Strength as your silent guardian. So when someone asks why bother with strength training for seniors, the answer should be simple, because staying strong means staying here longer and living better. You don't need to be lifting barbells or joining CrossFit to make this happen. A few push-ups against the wall, squats using a chair, or carrying a grocery bag in each hand can all trigger what's known as muscle recovery over 50. Every small challenge you give your body, it responds to by getting stronger, more capable. And the ripple effect? It touches everything. Confidence, energy, even purpose. Which brings us to something most folks overlook completely, the quiet power of tiny daily actions that keep that strength alive, year after year. You don't need a total life overhaul to get strong. In fact, trying to do too much at once often backfires. The secret? Start small, micro habits that are so simple, they feel almost too easy. 5 minutes of stretching in the morning. Standing on one leg while brushing your teeth. Walking for 10 minutes after lunch. These aren't just random tasks. They're the bricks that build an active aging lifestyle, one quiet choice at a time. When someone says they want to reverse muscle loss naturally, I ask them, What's one small thing you can do today that your future self will thank you for? That's the mindset shift. Swap one soda for water. Do 10 wall push-ups before dinner. Or keep a resistance band next to the couch and use it while watching the news. These tiny wins stack up. And soon enough, you'll feel the difference in how you move, sleep, and carry yourself. It's like compounding interest, but for your body. And here's something beautiful. The consistency you build with micro-habits rewires your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who takes care of their body, someone who is strong, capable, and aging on their own terms. That's the kind of quiet confidence that fuels senior fitness motivation. And once that spark is lit, something even deeper starts to shift, because physical strength is only half the story. The real transformation? It starts in the mind. Long before the muscles respond, the mind has to believe. That's the starting point. Most people carry silent scripts like, "I'm too old for this," or "It's too late to change." But those thoughts aren't facts, they're habits. And just like you can train a muscle, you can train a mindset. When someone embraces the idea that muscle recovery over 50 is possible, everything changes. They move with intention. They choose strength on purpose. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, isn't just a buzzword. It's the biological proof that transformation is always within reach. Every time you practice a daily habit for longevity, your brain creates a new connection that says, "This is who I am now." You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to do it consistently. For example, repeating a mantra like, "I get stronger every day," while doing strength training for seniors can literally reprogram your belief system. And here's the magic. Once your mind is aligned, the body starts to follow. You'll find yourself making better choices almost automatically. That's when exercise stops being a chore and becomes a celebration, a form of self-respect. And when someone realizes they don't need to rely on motivation but can instead rely on identity, that's when the game changes. Which leads us to a curious question. What if all of this strength could be built without ever stepping into a gym? Not a fan of gyms? That's perfectly fine, and honestly, kind of liberating. Strength doesn't live in a building full of machines and mirrors. It lives in your body, your breath, your movement. The truth is, you can build muscle at home with tools as simple as your own body. Chair squats in the kitchen, push-ups on the wall, resistance bands tied to a doorknob. These aren't just alternatives, they're powerful methods in their own right. One of the most underestimated strategies is walking with intention. Not just strolling, but walking tall, swinging your arms, breathing deeply. It becomes a moving meditation, a way to boost circulation, engage your core, and activate stability muscles, all part of functional fitness over 60. Add in purposeful movements like lifting groceries slowly or stretching while waiting for your coffee, and suddenly your home becomes your wellness studio. The key is shifting your perspective. Your house isn't a limit, it's a training ground. Your daily routine? That's your gym schedule. Every step you take, every time you rise from a chair without using your hands, you're proving to yourself that reverse muscle loss naturally is not just a dream, it's a daily choice. And while exercise gets the spotlight, there's a deeper layer to this journey that we often ignore. The part where food, rest, and recovery hold the real power. When people think of building strength, the first thing they usually hear is, eat more protein. And yes, protein matters a lot. But healthy aging tips go far beyond what's on your plate. Muscle is built in the kitchen, sure, but it's also built in your sleep, in your gut, in your ability to manage inflammation. Think of it like a symphony. Protein's the melody, but hydration, mobility, and rest are the instruments that bring it to life. Let's break it down. If you're not drinking enough water, your muscles can't recover properly. If your gut health is off, maybe from years of stress or processed food, your body won't absorb the nutrients it needs to support muscle recovery over 50. And if inflammation is constantly high, your muscles stay in a state of stress, not growth. That's why turmeric, leafy greens, quality sleep, and even laughter, yes, really, are powerful allies in your strength journey. Recovery days matter just as much as workout days. A 20-minute nap, a gentle walk, a magnesium-rich dinner. These are the kind of overlooked actions that build muscle at home, quietly and consistently. It's about tuning in, not just pushing hard. Your body is incredibly intelligent. It wants to heal. It wants to grow. But you've got to create the right conditions. And unfortunately, there are still a few outdated beliefs keeping people stuck, especially as they get older. Let's get real. There are some stubborn myths out there keeping people stuck. First one, I'm too old to lift weights.
Nope.
That's like saying you're too old to eat well or breathe fresh air. Strength has no age limit. In fact, studies have shown that people well into their 70s and 80s can reverse muscle loss naturally and even gain new muscle. What matters is how you lift, not how old you are. And often, all it takes is a resistance band and a little guidance. Second myth, light weights are safer. Here's the truth. Light weights have their place, especially when recovering from injury. But strength training for seniors requires challenge. If your muscles aren't being asked to grow, they won't. Safe doesn't mean easy. It means smart. For example, doing slow, controlled squats using a chair or stepping up on a sturdy box can provide just the right resistance to spark growth. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. And the third myth? Muscle loss is just part of aging. You can't stop it.
False.
What you can't stop is time, but you can absolutely slow down its effects. Through daily habits for longevity, functional movements, quality food, and a supportive mindset, you can redefine what aging looks like. Because senior fitness motivation isn't about becoming someone new, it's about reclaiming who you've always been. And that brings us to something deeper, something many never hear when they start this journey. You've made it this far, and that says a lot. You care about your body, about your future, about your freedom. Strength after 50 isn't a fantasy. It's a decision. One walk, one squat, one deep breath at a time. You don't need permission, perfection, or even a gym membership. Just the belief that you're not done yet. Because you're not. Your strongest years don't have to be behind you. In fact, they may just be beginning. So here's your moment. Not to change everything, but to change something. To choose movement, nutrition,
Rest.
presence. Because the path to reversing muscle loss naturally isn't paved with extremes. It's built with quiet, daily victories. What about you? You've already taken the first step.
Go check the link in my bio. There is something extra waiting just for you, my friend.